Hello, I'm Miss Slytherin and welcome to my channel. Happy Father's Day! Well, it's not Father's Day everywhere, but at least it's in here where I'm living. So, yeah. Today we'll be talking about, because of Father's Day, we'll be talking about fathers in Harry Potter series. Now, and also, let's start with father figures. Now, in father figures, there's like Sirius Black and Remus Lupin, for example. And there is this huge thing in Harry Potter fandom where it's like, what if Harry was raised by Sirius and Remus, and how much easier his life might have been, or much happier, and he would have had so much better life with them. But sadly, things happen. Yeah. Anyway, so what would it be like to be, well, Sirius and Remus kinda had already helped Harry in the original canon series anyway. So how would it change if they actually even raised him? Well, I think that because Sirius can be a bit funny, and when he was a kid he did all these things, so I think he wouldn't mind if Harry, for example, got in trouble for something. Remus, on the other hand, I'm not so sure. He might have been a little bit more stricter, maybe, but also very loving person in the end, because it is their friend's child in the end, and and they were very helpful to Harry anyway. So I don't think there would have been any problems with that. Loving people, extremely sweet. Wish they would have actually like raised Harry for like give him better life in the end. But I guess there's really nothing more I can say about them. Then again, I could literally make videos for every single character, since they are very every character have their own stories and pasts and everything, and there's honestly next. Well, this was a bit complicated for me, that whether I was going to talk about this person or not. Albus Dumbledore. Is he a father figure or more like a grandfather figure? Or in some people's cases probably just an ass, but we're we're not talking about that. He's more of a like a he helps Harry, and basically I always got like grandfather vibes from him, maybe because he is much older than most people in this list or in Harry Potter universe that we meet anyway, so it's really difficult to say anything about this, because I guess it really depends on how people see him or this whole situation. Some people it could be alright, like, yeah, maybe he is like a grandfather figure. To others it's like, no way in hell. There's no way. He's not that type of figure. Shut it. But I personally get the vibes like he's a grandfather. He does help Harry, even though he doesn't always give the straight answers. Like, we could have, this thing could be over if you just told Harry like everything. Or at least made it easier for him. But I understand in a certain way, like at least when he's like, when Harry is like 11 or 12, I understand you don't want to tell too much or anything like that. But at least when he's like, I don't know, 16, 17, you would think, or just 15, that's enough already. Like, I think he's old enough. But some, again, might not agree with me that 15 might be too young or stuff like that. But yeah, he does help. Not maybe in the best way, but not the worst either. So, I have no idea. Still respect for him for trying, or at least being a good person, and at least not the worst person ever, and not the worst, like, father figure, grandfather figure. Now, let's move to the fathers, actually. Now, James Potter. You know, I have some difficult feelings with James for a reason. Because of Slytherin, because I'm Slytherin, but not because he's a Gryffindor. Not because of that. I do not condone war between houses, okay? It's because he basically, back when he was a child, bullied people. Then again, probably many Gryffindor did that during that time. Bullied people because they were Slytherins. Now, there are some Slytherins that I do agree that would maybe need a little push in the back or something. But I don't really think there's really a reason to bully anyone. I do not condone bullying for no means. Any means, actually. But I digress. I'll leave that to some other video or something. And let's just talk about him as a father. Now, we don't really know much about what he was like when he was father, but you would believe he was a good father for the time he was alive. But because from the things you hear or the things you figure out is that he changed when he got married and actually got a child. He actually became a better person. So I would believe he was a good father for the time being, or he could have been a good father if things didn't happen. So, what can I say about James Potter as a father? We don't know much, but I've heard that he might have been a good father or would have become a good father within time, even if necessary. He would have probably raised Harry with love and just other things that you need. He would have been a great father. I seriously can't say anything against that or say anything else. I believe he would have been good. And I think he would have been one of those fathers that is like when Harry gets picked as the seeker in the Quidditch, for the Quidditch team. I think he would have been like stoked. He would have been so happy, like, oh my god, my son is a seeker. I was seeker when I was in school, like, so happy. He would have been so happy. We're gonna need a lot of tea for this one. So, Lucius Malfoy. Where do I begin with this guy? Now, he's not the worst person in the series. We all can agree on that. But we don't really know what he's like as a father. As a politician, we know he's probably really good at his job. Or all we know about politics, I don't even understand that, so I'm not good at politics, so we don't really know how he raised Draco, or if he raised him at all, if it was all on Narcissa, but that's another thing for another video haul. But we do know, just like Lucius and probably Narcissa, Draco is very keen on blood purity and stuff like that. So we can kinda get what kind of, how he was raised and stuff like that by either one. And yeah, it's not really easy to say anything about Lucius because we don't know what kind of father he was or how he is during the series. Obviously, he kinda obsesses, at least at the during the end of the series, to gain the Dark Lord's favor. Like he wants to be seen as a, how would it be? What would be the best way to say it? Like to be the best basically in his books, but it's not easy. It didn't look like it could be easy, and in the end he did choose the fact, like the safety of his family over other things, which can be respected on its own end. But the fact that he doesn't seem to have much worry for other people, but this is not video about that, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. It's really difficult to really say anything because we don't see much what he does or what he was like when Draco, for example, was a baby. We don't know. There is a lot of speculation about Lucius also being abusive, because most likely the movie scene of the scene when he kind of hits with his walking stick next to Draco's head in the that one store, I completely forgot the name of it, and people kind of speculate that he could have been abusive or stuff like that. But there is also a lot of things that go maybe against that statement, because first of all, in books he doesn't have a walking stick. B, he doesn't seem to be abusive if Draco is willing to just like speak to him, at least when he was younger, like about Harry and stuff like that. Because in my opinion, maybe the child would be much more scared maybe to talk to his father about school life and Harry. But that's just me. Yeah, we don't know if he's a good father or not. Never come to think of it, actually. And probably. Now, let's get into more positive people and kinder people, should we? Arthur Weasley. Yes. This guy is maybe the best, like, the sweetest person ever. Kinda. Well, he did pick a fight with Lucius, but that's another thing completely. He has raised not one, not two, not three children. Oh my god. How do you raise that many children? Just asking. I mean, there might be some kind of age difference between some of them, but still, there was always like at least like 4 at some point living with them, like, not kidding. And he's the only one like working and getting money for the family out of the 2 parents. Which is understandable that the other parent should. Maybe it would be best to stay home because there's that many children. And later on, when probably like Bill and Charlie became older and actually got jobs, maybe if they had chance, they would sometimes like send money to their parents, like to help them. But not sure. Arthur raised all these children with Molly and was the only one working. He also helped Harry a lot. He was really helpful. It was obvious that he wanted best for Harry and for his children, for everyone. He was really interested in Muggle technology and really just generally nice guy. And you can see that the way that he is or raised the children with Molly, it kind of turned into something more in his children. I still can't believe that every Weasley is in Gryffindor. Like, there are siblings in Harry Potter, or at least you would think that some siblings would go into different houses. But all the Weasleys are in the same house, or were put in the same house. Which is really interesting. All of them. But anyway, Arthur, great father figure to maybe some, like Harry, for example. He had a ton of father figures in his life. And I gotta mention here that I will not be speaking about Harry or Ron or Hermione as parents, like maybe ever, because that's cursed child territory. I have never read Cursed Child. I don't know if I ever will. But so I have no idea what kind of parents they were or are. So I can't really say much about them. Like, even less than like people like Lucius or... Now that should be everybody. Thank you for watching this video. What was that? You can't be serious. Are you? No. I get... Fine. You win. We have one more person to talk about. Apparently. Mr. Dursley. Vernon Dursley. Why was this last one? I don't know. He is a father, alright. There's no question about that. He is a father. Honestly, I think the Dursleys are literally people that basically a lot of Harry Potter fans hate. So do I. Whether there is like the reason for them being mean to Harry being that the Horcrux thing or other stuff, still people are not forgiving. Not really. So, but other than that, obviously, when it came to Harry, bad parenting or bad raising, I can't really call them parents since they are like uncle, aunt, and cousin, but other than that. Then again, cousin can't really be parent type. Never mind. So, Vernon as a father. I really have... this is really difficult because in a way he's a bad parent, but in a way he... if you really look into it, maybe in a certain way he isn't, but in a certain way he is. A lot of ways he is. Not just with Harry, but with Dudley as well. Because Dudley gets everything he wants. Dudley is treated like a baby, even though he's in an age where he shouldn't be treated like one. And, you know, it's a good thing to be friendly to your kids and like giving them positive encouragement and saying how good they are at something. But the fact that... But where it goes wrong is when basically your child can't do anything wrong. So basically, everything, every fault falls into the other kid. That's where the problem is. And again, giving child everything that they want. That's just madness. They will be raised like pampered children if that's the case. Which kinda is at least what we see in the very first movie and in the very first book. We see this quite a lot because he gets sad about the amount of presents he gets. And that is already red flag in my opinion. Luckily, he was reformed in the last pieces and everything. But, and again, I'm not blaming the child, really. Vernon never liked anything that wasn't what he deemed normal or right or stuff like that. He would be the person to literally hit you in the head with his own way he sees things. Like with Harry, he tried to normalize him basically. And it didn't work. But he couldn't understand, he wanted the magic out of him. Which, as we saw, or heard, or read, is impossible. So, already bad at raising his own child, bad at raising someone else's child. Does he have any redeeming qualities? In any sense, in himself, or in raising qualities, or himself? Probably not. And if there are these really small moments that he is nice, but not necessarily because he wants to be, but most likely out of fear that Harry or some other wizard or witch do something if he doesn't act nice. I really don't know if he's a good father or not. In certain sense he isn't. But maybe there's something that could still be good in his opinion. Well, he basically still thinks best for his own family, like Petunia, Dudley. The things he does, he sees are right. This probably teaches that adults are not always perfect in their own way of seeing things. And maybe that's literally the only thing I can come up with. So if you can come up with anything that's something good, parenthood, fatherhood, that Vernon Dursley did, put in the comments. I'll be probably reading them. And I really should end this on much more positive note now that I think about it. So I'm gonna add on the James Potter one because I forgot to mention, and I know people will be screaming at me because I didn't mention this one. The fact that James was willing to protect his family with his own life, the fact that he probably knew, everyone knew, that if the Dark Lord found them, he would kill them. And he was willing to get head on with Dark Lord to basically try to save Lily and his son. I have to raise one for that. I don't care at that point. Okay, James was a bully. People as kids can be cruel. But yeah, it can be really redeeming when you actually think about it, that he basically gave his own life to protect his son and his wife. To end this more sadder, positive note, perhaps, that James versus Vernon. James is a better father, in my opinion. Has probably always been. And now some people will be saying that, why did you mention this person? This person is a father. Why didn't you mention this person? This person is a father. I I can't mention every father that there is in the Harry Potter universe because either I forgot about them. These are mainly the most seen characters, I guess you could say. The characters we know most about, the characters that we see most, the characters that are there in front of us almost the whole time. So that's why it was basically these people, these certain people. Because I really didn't want to, honestly, I was just being lazy. I didn't want to dig too much into some other people's lives. There are bad fathers everywhere. I didn't even mention some of the bad fathers that there actually are. I think are every pure blood father, like, just insane. But there's some things that just are best to leave somewhere else, like other fathers that we don't know much about or we don't see that often to even remember putting them on the list. And yeah, people are gonna be giving me a lot of fact of that, like, why didn't you mention this, why didn't you mention that? This video will be maybe hours long if I did that. There's so many characters, not just from Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and everything. I didn't even mention people from that, but then again, there really isn't like parents in that sense. If you think it in one way, there isn't much parents in that series. So, in the end, we got the whole collection of fathers, father figures, good fathers, and bad fathers, godfathers, etc. Or godfather. Remus is not a godfather, if I remember correctly. Well, he is actually a father, now that I think about it. Yeah, I'll probably add on that on some other time, concerning that he ran away. But probably for a good reason when you actually think about that. He was just scared for his own kid and wife in that situation. So I can't put hate on Remus for that. Anyway, this was the video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like to see more Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts related stuff. And put thumbs up or thumbs down, depending if you like the video or not. Who gives a shit? But who cares? Bye!